it loud. 'Cause when the music starts bumping, the whole place will be jumping. It's my scene, my scene. You know what I mean. It's my scene, you know what.
The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman.
Here's something black people have known for a couple of 100 years. Niggas are crazy. Now, black people don't like to talk about crazy niggas in public because white people may be listening, but I'm afraid the secret might be out.
All skin folk and kinfolk. Hey y'all, it's Harriyanna and I'm back with another video. Hello, my name is Harriyanna and welcome to, I went out of focus, why did you do that? But welcome to the pirate ship, also known as Harry Hook's pirate ship. Always remember that I am the captain, you are not my first mate. I don't got no first mate, nobody's worthy of being the first mate. Hello, my name is Harriyanna and if you are new, and you don't know what I do, that rhymed, ow. I like to make content based off nostalgia and family and children's entertainment and all the issues that I find within those spaces, okay? Now, today's subject matter is strictly going to be nostalgia based, and the subject matter is going to be a bit heavy, so viewer discretion is advised. And if you don't know what I'm going to speak about, just pause it right now, just Google R. Kelly, and then come back, okay? Then come back, and that will be the context. That is the only thing you will need for this video, okay? The subject matter is a bit much. Viewer discretion is advised. I cannot stress that enough. If you looked it up and you know you can't handle it, please just stop the video right here. I'm warning you. Anyway, throughout my childhood, there has been like ongoing talk about the black community defending R. Kelly and other trash men too, as they still freaking do it. They're doing it now with DaBaby, they're doing it now with Tory Lanez, they've always been doing it with Chris Brown, simply because they like their art and they just make excuses for the horrible things they have done, specifically to black women, okay? And I just want to put my thoughts here on the table about this. And the main reason I am making this video is because Aaliyah has been in the talks again about all the things that went on with her. And this video was really just about to be about Aaliyah, but everybody was making Aaliyah videos and all of us were just kind of saying the same thing. So I just kind of scrapped it and we worked it into this video. And I really like the way it turned out. So I'm just going to give it to you guys. This will basically be an analysis on the Boondocks episode, The Trial of Robert Kelly. Because Aaliyah is involved with this man, unfortunately, that's why we will be referencing to Aaliyah later on during this analysis, okay? Because she was one of this man's victims. It wasn't said in the episode that she was, but if you did your research and you knew, you knew. Okay. Now, if you don't know who Aaliyah basically is an R&B singer who tragically died in 2001 in a plane crash after she finished filming her last music video, Rock the Boat. And if you don't know who R. Kelly is, like I said, pause it right now, look it up. He is, we like to call him the pee-pee man because he's disgusting, okay? But he basically is also an R&B singer. So, now, story time. When I found out this information about Aaliyah being involved with R. Kelly, I was only 14. I was like in my last year of high school, so this wasn't really a surprise to me. It was still a bit shocking. I was just surprised but a bit more disappointed because in elementary school, my parents, growing up, the only time I ever heard R. Kelly's music is if I were at summer camp. Oh Jesus, my summer camp did so much dirty stuff, y'all. I'm currently writing a book about it. But we would be watching MTV when we weren't supposed to. We were supposed to be watching Disney Channel and Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network. The girls, the teenage girl counselors would be turning on MTV and they always be playing R. Kelly's music. They always be playing R. Kelly's music videos. So that's really kind of like the only childhood connection I really have with R. Kelly was when the counselors weren't supposed to be showing us this content and they were. So other than that, I really never had no personal childhood connections to R. Kelly because R. Kelly, that was the only time I really heard R. Kelly was when I was at summer camp because both of my parents every time R. Kelly's music came on the radio, or if it came on the TV, we just be having music videos going, they would turn it off. They would like switch the station, they would just change the channel. Because of this, I just did not have a childhood connection to R. Kelly like many other black kids. Like, I couldn't even listen to R. Kelly's version of I Believe I Can Fly because of how garbage my parents thought he was. And they were correct. I had those kind of parents that just straight up told me like it is. And sometimes they didn't always just straight up say it like it is. They just went and did, and then I had to ask later on for them to explain what they have done. So, as I said, I have those parents that aren't afraid to tell me. So one day I was 10 years old. I was in the 5th grade and I was driving around with my dad. And what do you know? V103 played R. Kelly's music and my dad was like, ugh. And then he turned it off and then he changed it. So I finally asked him why he did that. And my dad just strictly said he's not a good person. And I was like, I already know he's not a good person. You guys always change his music when it comes on. Why is he not a good person? And then all he told me was that he likes little girls, and I knew. That's all I had to know. That is all the information that I had to know not to support R. Kelly. All the information I needed to know not to listen to his gross music. Because I hope y'all understand he's singing about kids. That, yes, please understand that that man is singing about children. It's actually freaking gross. It's actually really gross. That's why we keep telling y'all don't stream his music. Please, he's singing about children. It's actually very gross. So I never cared for R. Kelly. That is my little story that I have. Now moving on, a year later when I went to middle school, that is when I discovered the Boondocks, okay? I was in the 6th grade. That's here in America. Your first year of middle school is 6th grade. It's in most schools. I know some schools 6th grade starts at, middle school starts at 7th grade, but in my school it started at 6th grade. And y'all know the Boondocks is not afraid to go there. They go there, they take it too far sometimes because they want you to understand the message, okay? And I saw they had an episode about R. Kelly. And you want to know what my little 11-year-old ass did? Had no business watching this. I watched it. I was disgusted. I was disturbed. But that episode, like I said, the Boondocks takes it so far to where you will understand why we're talking about is an issue. That's literally what they did. And I was just like, okay. So what happened in this episode of the trial of Robert Kelly is that the entire episode is the trial of Robert Kelly. Most of it takes place in a courtroom. The beginning of the episode starts off with them watching the case on television, and then the episode goes into them going to the court place, them having the trial, him being set free, and then them going home. That literally is just the entire structure of this episode. It's one of the few, not one of the few, but one of the Boondock episodes that take place within the span of about 1 to 2 days. So yeah, we got to spend a lot of time. We spent all day with Huey and Riley and Granddad and Tom Dubois. It was very interesting, I'd say. So in this episode, with the exception of Huey and Tom, which was basically in real life, people like me and my parents, and then a few other people that straight up knew R. Kelly wasn't shit, they represented us. That was Huey and Tom. And then the rest of the people did not care. They were defending him. Those were the people that were disregarding his behavior simply because they thought his art was good, simply because they thought his music was great. All of these people, and they were all black people to be specific, were defending him. And there was a white man that was defending him, but we're going to get into that later. We are going to get into that later. Okay, so both Tom and Huey had very valid points for why this man needs to be locked up, okay? But nobody cared because he made good music. Mind you, a lot of the music he wrote about, like, he wrote it himself. So keep that in mind. Please keep that in mind. Nobody cared that this man was enough because he made good music, because he made good art. Nobody cared simply because of that. And they all blamed the black girls in this episode. I'm tired of y'all. I'm tired of y'all calling little black girls fast. I have a whole video about adultification down below. I'm tired of y'all calling black girls fast. I'm tired of y'all saying they act too grown. That's literally what always happens when it comes to the situations that are brought up about him messing with another girl, is that the girl was being fast. No fast girl will be able to pull a grown man that knows that he should not be talking to kids, okay? That's all I want y'all to take from that, okay? No girl is fast enough to pull a man that knows not to talk to her, okay? All of that was his fault. All of that was his fault, okay? This episode is terrifying because R. Kelly is not the only one, and this is just being in a aside. The entertainment industry just does not care. They really don't freaking care, as I mentioned in my video about Nicki Minaj's brother, because Nicki Minaj has a history of working with abusers and gross men and whatever, okay? Especially if the people affected are black women. That's the worst thing about it all. The main reason why R. Kelly got away with what he did for so long is because the girls that were affected, the girls that were the victims, were black. And as we know, adultification, a lot of people don't see black girls as innocent. So the industry does not care. This is also another thing that I've seen, like when it comes to DaBaby and Tory Lanez. The industry does not care if black women are being hurt, because that's why I'm glad people called Dua Lipa out on it, where she stopped working with DaBaby because of him being homophobic, but she still worked with him regardless of him hurting black women. That's why I just had to give her the side eye, like, girl, hush, okay? So if the person is talented, they just try to brush it off. And hold on, by the way, I don't need nobody trying to quote me on this. Dua Lipa, she had every right to cut him off for being homophobic, because he was extremely wrong for that. But it's just very suspicious how she still worked with him, even though it has been known to the public that he has hurt black women. Like I said, people just put black women at the bottom of the barrel, and they don't care. They don't care about us, okay? So the industry does not care if black women are being hurt. If the person is talented, they just brush it off. And sometimes it's not even just that. Like I mentioned earlier with Tory Lanez and DaBaby, they're still here for some reason. Why are y'all still no, they're still here. I know that not all of them are like this. This doesn't happen all the time. But we're going to come back to R. Kelly, and we're gonna bring up Aaliyah in this situation. Now, many people knew, like I said, the entertainment industry keeps a lot of things hush hush, okay? Many people in this industry knew, or they were aware of what R. Kelly had going on with Aaliyah. People see everything. A lot of this information was exposed in Surviving R. Kelly, okay? Many people knew what this man was doing to her, and none of them said anything. This entire situation is just extremely freaking weird. Like, I don't understand why her parents would let her just go off with this grown man on her own, and they wouldn't be there a lot of the times. It's extremely weird. Like, why was nobody catching on to this? Why were they wearing the same freaking outfits? That literally is the most disturbing piece of media that I've seen when I do my, like, internet story and stuff. Like, y'all, I'm an internet pop culture historian. I know so much stuff that literally, that scene, that clip makes my skin crawl. Because I'm like, why are they in the same outfit? That was freaking gross, okay? And aside from that, why are they so close together? Because if you see pictures of R. Kelly and Aaliyah, they a little too close together. Like, a man should not be sitting that close to a freaking child, okay? Unless that is his child and she is not, they should not be that close to one another, okay? Why was nobody catching on to this? Like, y'all didn't even catch that when they were wearing the same outfit? Gross, okay? Why was she always around him? Like, all of this was done around adults, and these adults included R. Kelly's team and his friends and family, okay? None of them did anything about it. None of them did anything to help Aaliyah until it got too late, to the point where she married him illegally, and then next thing you know, her parents banned her from seeing him. Why didn't y'all step in earlier? Y'all were aware that something was happening, but you simply didn't care because she was making y'all money.
pretty cats, long tails and ears for hats, guitars and sharps and flats. Need sweet a groovy song? You're invited, come along. Hurry, hurry, see all the pressure on maybe pants. We could be in.
And people love to say this anytime we try to bring a black man accountable for what he has done. Like we said in the Boondocks. I'm most likely going to throw in that clip in here.
What the hell is wrong with you people? Every famous nigga that gets arrested is not Nelson Mandela? Yes, the government conspires to put a lot of innocent black men in jail on fallacious charges. But R. Kelly is not one of those men.
People tend to say that we like to bring down the black man, or we're tearing the black family apart when we bring up black men's effery. Okay, and that is simply just not the case. We're not trying to bring down the black kings. We're simply holding them accountable for doing wrong. And specifically, they are doing wrong, black women and children. Y'all always pull this out y'all ass when we call out black men for hurting black women and children, saying that we're trying to tear them apart. There is literally so much evidence. There literally is so much proof against this man for what he did, and people are still trying to make up excuses for him. He's not a child. He is a grown freaking man, and you're still trying to find ways to say that this stuff is fake when it has been numerous documentations of it all. Because the victims being black, that's why barely anything was done. People didn't want to take it seriously. I watched a documentary and stuff like that, where I know there's like a lot of controversy surrounding that documentary, but it felt like these girls weren't even trying to get help at all. Like, their families were trying to get help for them, but nothing was being done. Nobody was taking their cases seriously. Their voices were not being heard, okay? Victims being black resulting to why this was able to go on for so long. As I mentioned, the Boondocks episode, that episode came out in the mid-2000s, and it is still extremely relevant today. Not much of anything has changed, okay? Not much of anything has changed. And I kid you not, I bet you if social media was not a thing right now, it probably would still be exactly like how it was back then. Social media is part of the reason why so much of this information, new information with him being a trash, despicable human being, has come to light. Okay? Social media is a powerful tool, okay? It can be used for greatness, it can be used for harm, but people don't underestimate the power of social media, y'all. Don't underestimate it, okay? So, protect black women the way y'all protect the men that hurt them, okay? The trial of Robert Kelly is terrifying. It is still extremely terrifying because it showed that black women don't really have anybody. Like, black girls, especially black women, don't have anybody. The entire episode, the people were going off about how the little black girls were asking for it. If they didn't want to be bothered by him, they should have never went to him. Like, very distasteful stuff like that right there. And that because they went to him, they didn't want to take their cases seriously when he was still extremely in the wrong, okay? Black women really don't have anyone, and not even their own men help us sometimes. Like I said, a lot of the hate that I get online and a lot of the mean comments and stuff like that come from black men. A lot of the people that have hurt me in real life have come from black men. A lot of the pain that I've dealt with in my life has come from black men. It's extremely sad. It's extremely tragic, and my heart really goes out to all the victims because being realistic wise, as we know how the world is set up, a lot of those victims from the past, present, and probably in the future, they're not going to get the justice they deserve. Simply because people don't want to take black girls' cases seriously with the situation. And that is why this episode is so terrifying. It's extremely a hard watch. This is one of the Boondocks episodes that I have not seen that much. I recently rewatched it for the sake of this analysis. And it's an extremely hard watch. I do recommend watching it if you can handle it. but it's extremely terrifying, because if anybody wants to see a piece about adultification of black girls in the media, I highly recommend the Boondocks episode called The Trial of Robert Kelly, and you will be able to see it for yourself. That is it for today's video. If you guys liked it and you want to know a great way you can support me and support many other black women, please go watch The Progenies. The Progenies is my web series about rich kids at a prestigious boarding school. Have fun, please. Our first 2 episodes are down below. Our pilot is down below. If you're going to watch it, keep in mind the pilot takes place after the episodes. It's prequel stuff, and then the pilot comes last. I'm weird like that. I did like a little Quentin Tarantino thing right there. He's gross too, but I really did like how he would tell the story kind of out of order. I found it very interesting. Same with Horror Weasels and Mia. But I'll have the link to my web series down below if you guys are interested in watching that. If you guys want to know where you can support me in the channel, please head over to my Patreon. Most expensive tier is $5 and lowest is $1. So it's still pretty much cheap. It's pretty much cheap for the most part, okay? You guys want to support me for free, hit that subscribe button and hit that bell down below, because you know YouTube don't like to notify me about when... YouTube don't like to notify y'all when to upload. I don't like that. It don't sit well with me. If you would like to follow me, everything is just Harriyanna. I literally have every single form of social media. I have a Letterboxd. I have a Goodreads. I have a Pinterest. I got all of that. I have Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, everything. Okay? I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys would like to purchase merchandise, I have merch. Yeah. I will have the link to my merch down below for anybody that would like to purchase. I will also have a little discount code down there too. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm trying to do better about being more active. It's Progenies premiere month and I am stressed to the max. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good night.
Powerpuff Girls will just blow your mind. Buttercup like villains 3 at a time. Bubbles will smile while kicking your butt, and Blossom will lead them out of their rut. Cherish and Powerpuff, 2 of a kind. Both wanna save the world before